Hey everybody, welcome back to Investing with Wesley. Today I want to talk to you about 3 popular apps that a bunch of people use when they're first starting out in finances. These apps are things like Acorns, Stash, and Change ED. Let's get into it. So if you don't already know, Acorns is an investment app that lets you passively invest into the market utilizing your spare change. And basically how they do this is that you link all your credit cards and debit cards and all these other accounts to your Acorns account. And every time you swipe your card, whether it's to get gas, groceries, or coffee, all that spare change is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and that difference in cents is invested for you. So if you spend $1.50 on coffee, the extra 50 cents to make it $2 gets invested for you into Acorns. Now, one thing that I kind of don't like about Acorns, though, is that it lets you pick your investment risk, but it won't let you pick your investments. So here's a list of some of the example portfolios that they offer. You can see here that it ranges all the way from conservative to aggressive, but most importantly is at the very end it says that these portfolios are comprised of a bunch of different ETFs that are derived from Vanguard Group. So you can opt in to be extremely aggressive, but you can't actually dictate where that money goes and in what particular market it goes to. Acorns does all of that for you, which I guess is a good thing for beginner investors or people that are just looking for an easy way to save. But I would want a little bit more control over my investments and over my portfolio than to just select aggressive and let them do whatever it is they do. So in order to have an Acorns account, you have to sign up for a membership. The cheapest one is $1, the middle grounds is $3, and the most expensive is $5. Now, when you break these monthly membership fees down, they're actually extremely expensive compared to the ETFs that they're investing your money into. So let's assume that you were able to invest $50 just based on all the roundups of the purchases that you did. Well, your fees for those $50 to be invested equates to 2% if you just had the cheapest membership. So if you invested $50 due to roundups and you had to pay $1 per month to have this membership, that's a 2% loss right off the top. That's borderline mutual fund territory. And considering that they're taking your roundups and investing them into ETFs, which have extremely low fees, you can see why it's just not that favorable to pay these high fees, even though at the end of the day, it's just $1. In fact, just to make up for these fees, your account would have to grow 24% in the first year just to break even. So if your $50 grew 24%, you'd have an account balance of $62. If you deduct the $12 you spent on membership fees in 1 year, you would be back at $50. Now, growing your portfolio balanced 24% plus is doable, but you're hardly ever going to find it in ETFs, especially when Acorns does their best to diversify your portfolios. So to expect this passive investing style to grow more than 24% and give you an actual return as opposed to a break even or actually a net loss is just something that's probably not going to happen. In fact, in order to make that dollar fee, you pay Acorns cheaper than the fee that you would pay the actual ETF if you invested yourself. You would have to invest with Acorns more than $3,300 a month for that fee to be cheaper than the fee you would pay an ETF. As an example, the VOO ETF has a sales load of 0.03%. Meaning all the money that you give them to invest, they're going to take 0.03% of it as a sales fee. So if you do the math, you'd have to invest $3,300 a month to pay a sales fee greater than $1, making it more affordable to go with Acorns to invest that money instead of the actual ETF itself. The next investment app I want to talk to you about is Stash. Stash is very similar to Acorns, except it gives you a little bit of extra perks. And those perks are pretty much just a spending card that gives you rewards in the form of fractional shares of a stock as opposed to like reward points or cash back. But in my opinion, that charge card is basically just a gimmick because the amount of stocks you earn back is very, very minimal, and you're really not going to see any sort of return on such small fractions of a stock. Now, just like Acorns, Stash does offer you the roundup feature, but they'll also go a step further with letting you pick what stocks you want to invest in. So just like Acorns, they'll let you pick your risk profile, but then they'll also let you pick individual stocks that you want to invest in. So you have a little bit more control over the investments in your portfolio that you're investing in. Now for Stash's memberships, you're either spending $1, $3, or $9 a month. But where Stash differs from Acorns is how they charge their fees. We already established that you'd have to invest more than $3,300 a month to make that dollar fee worth it. But where Stash breaks away is that once your value reaches $5,000 or more, they actually start charging you a management style fee instead of a monthly fee. So your management style fee would go from $1 a month to 0.25% of your total investment value. So at $5,000, your fee would actually be $12.50. Once your value reached $6,000, your fee would become $15. And once the value in your account grew to $10,000, your fee would be assessed at $25. So you can see, once you get past the $5,000 mark with Stash, the fees really start adding up. And just like the example I gave you with Acorns, they do not make up for how low fees investing directly into those ETFs would actually be. And like I said, with that special charge card they give you that gives you stock back, that stock back is only earned at 0.125% of whatever your purchase was. Now granted, some is better than none, but considering you can get a cash back credit card that gives you 1.5% on pretty much everything, you could use the cash you receive from that to invest in stocks, and already you're canceling out the rewards that that charge card has given you. So the real big negative when it comes to Stash is that you're really just paying that membership fee or the heavy management fee, all for just being able to use the app. You could take your money pretty much anywhere else, including other robo-advisors, and invest that money into the same ETFs and the same stocks for way cheaper. And the fact that the stock back card really doesn't give you that much stock back really doesn't make it worthwhile at all. So in my opinion, Acorns and Stash are just not viable solutions to automatic investing, and even the roundup feature just doesn't make it a viable solution for me, because even though the fees are relatively small, they are astronomical compared to what they would be if you just invested that money directly into the same ETFs that Acorns or Stash would invest it in. But there is one other app out there that I do recommend that has the same roundup feature and that would actually be able to help, and that app is the Change ED app. Now, there is still a fee, which is $3 a month, but instead of the Change Ed app investing that money for you, it actually goes to apply as extra payments towards your student loans. So the same $50 that you would be investing based on a rounded up change in Acorns or Stash, that $50 goes as an added payment towards your student loans. Now, doing it by yourself, you're probably not going to see that much headway unless you're spending a lot of money on these transactions. But where Change Ed actually revolutionizes it, in my opinion, is that your friends and family can actually link their accounts and help you lower your student loans. So as I go along my day spending my money, the roundup feature is attacking your student loans. So it really gets everybody involved in helping each other pay their student loans down even quicker. So automatic transfers will happen in your bank account when the rounded up cents turns into $5. So when you have enough charges that the rounded up change adds up to $5 will be deducted from your account and go into the Change Ed account. And once your Change Ed account reaches a balance of $50 to $100, it'll automatically apply that as a payment towards your student loans. Now, if your intent is to pay back these student loans completely by yourself, I don't really think this would be the best option for you, especially if you watch some of my previous videos on how to get out of debt and the strategy we use to help our friends get out of debt even quicker. But if your friends and family were willing to help you pay down your student loans, then Change Ed would be a great thing because it can get everybody involved and really attack those student loans as quickly as possible. But as far as these three apps are concerned, that's pretty much it. The whole point in me making this video is to help educate you guys on really what's the best place to put your money. Because I get that passively saving and passively investing still helps you save money, but paying the heavy fees that are attributed to Acorns and Stash really are going to eat into the profits and the savings capabilities you're going to have. So I hope I helped you understand that there are better options out there than just Acorns and Stash. And I know Change Ed isn't necessarily an investment platform, and it's more to pay off your student loans. But like I said, you can open up a Robinhood account, M1 Finance account, any of the brokerages that I mentioned in my previous video, and just invest in the same ETFs that Acorns and Stash use to build your portfolios. And not only that, but to invest in those ETFs and stocks on those kinds of robo-advisors are usually 110% free, and you're only going to pay the sales fee of those ETFs, which, like I already said, is like 0.03%, so it is extremely cheap. Save yourself some money and invest wisely, and I'll see you in my next episode.